This is 9 on your side at 5.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ryan Peterson. Thanks so much for joining us. We're here with Chief Meteorologist David Sawyer in the Forecast Center. Let's get right to it again. What a night it was.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, the snow's finally here.
It did, and it's a bunch of it across eastern North Carolina. And to add to that, Ryan, with the prolonged period of sleet and freezing rain, as we're well aware, major problems with our roadways.
And continued cold.
That's right, and I know you're going to have a lot about that with our team coming up. But let's talk about these weather conditions that are only going to prolong these travel problems. National Weather Service has appropriately issued a winter weather advisory because of the snow and ice pack on the ground. The frozen precipitation falling, it's gone. It's moved offshore as expected. So now it's about the after effects. It's all of that snow and ice that is on the ground. So again, the National Weather Service issuing this winter weather advisory, alerting us to the fact that we have dangerous road conditions right on into Thursday. Currently, our temperatures are in the 20s, and they're going to drop tonight to the single digits to lower teens. So an extremely hard freeze is already in progress, and it only gets worse as we head through the overnight. So with these snowy and icy roads tonight as well as into Thursday, very, very dangerous conditions here, and these accumulating snows still make a high impact for eastern North Carolina. So just keep that in mind. With the snowpack pretty thick and the ice too across eastern North Carolina, we are expecting the forecast to be indeed a long-term effect with all of this snow on the ground. Greenville 4 inches, Williamston 3 inches, and around 4 inches for Wilson and Kinston. More snow totals coming up, and we'll talk about a thaw into the weekend straight ahead.
Thank you, David. We'll see you shortly. Well, Greenville saw their fair share of snowfall overnight, creating a dangerous mess on the roads. As you well know, DOT crews from western counties are here today to help operate 24 plow trucks, spread 400 tons of salt along the primary routes. Crews are focusing their efforts on traffic-heavy main highways like 11 and 264 leading into and out of the city. They will then plow 2-lane roads and the rural streets, which could take more than 3 days to get everything cleared up. When sharing the roads with the DOT, patience is key.
If you just give us some room, give us some space, let us do our job, and hopefully we can get you on the roads and get everything clear, sooner.
DOT Secretary Tony Tata says he has 2,500 employees on the road with 1,300 trucks. He also says all ferry routes are suspended. Governor McCrory, by the way, praising the efforts of the emergency road crews.
This has been a tough storm for North Carolina. It's been a little different than what we anticipated when we held a conference yesterday, especially in the east. We had a lot more black ice than anticipated when, frankly, we could have used a little bit more snow regarding the road conditions. But we've adapted, and I'd like to say our team's done a good job.
2 people have died in accidents related to the storm in Surry County. Well, power is out today for almost 1,300 of you on Ocracoke Island. Tideland Electric Membership Corporation first reported those outages around 5:30 this morning when lines broke on the northern end of the island. Around 12:45 this afternoon, Tideland Electric reported the power restored before it went back out again just after 2 p.m. when another line snapped from wind. Greenville Utilities says there were no reports of outages or other storm-related emergencies today, and Carteret Craven Electric Cooperative says they've seen little in the way of outages related to this winter storm. Checking back in with the city of Greenville now, the snow kept most of the city home from work and school. They made the best of it. Maria Satira is live in Greenville again tonight with us. She caught up with some of those kids enjoying their snow day. Maria.
Hey Ryan, yeah, lots of kids enjoying their snow day. Everything snow covered from the roads to the grassy hills. And you know, if you've ever been sledding, you know the grassy hills are the best place to do it. Families and kids took to Greenville and enjoyed sliding, sledding, and even falling down this slope. Yet if you didn't have sleds before this week, they were hard to find, and a lot of folks had to get creative. From cardboard to Tupperware, we did really see it all. Parents say it's all worth it when they see their kids having fun.
Oh, to see him smile, of course, to grin. He was out of school yesterday, but there was no snow, so it just wasn't the same. Now it makes it official. He has a real snow day.
The Wygen family brought their snow bike down the slope, and Don actually ordered it from Switzerland a few years ago and was thrilled to be able to use it this week in Greenville. He said he only brings it out once every couple years. And speaking of sledding, other families and kids we're having fun on the slopes. I'll have their story at 6 o'clock. Live in Greenville, Maria Satira, 9 on your side.
Maria, thanks so much. We'll see you later. Many of the roads in Williamston remained uncleared today as well. This afternoon, leading to dangerous driving conditions there. Martin County is also declaring a curfew from 9 to 6 tomorrow morning. While the snow is dangerous, it can also be a lot of fun. However, several Williamston families spent time sledding down this Highway 64 embankment. Actually, I don't know how safe that is. Avoid the roads when you can. One resident we spoke with says the snow brings a lot of great memories.
It reminds me a lot of my childhood. We used to go outside, kids everywhere, pick up snow, hit anybody that come around.
And coming up at 6, 9 on your side's own Brandon Goldner, who spent the night in Williamston, will join us with more reaction to all of the snow. Now, the snow is giving way to ice, as you know, as more and more people test out the roads. The threat of sliding on the ice underneath that snow cover remains in Onslow County and other places as well. The Jacksonville Department of Transportation continues to work on plowing and salting the roadways. Since Monday, they've run through 200,000 tons of salt so far as they clear the major roads. And with more people driving, that layer of ice below the snow is becoming easier to see. And as the temperature stays below freezing, Onslow County Emergency Management Services Director Norman Bryson says county offices and schools will be closed again tomorrow.
Right now, because of the treacherous conditions out on the roadway and the amount of ice and black ice we'll see in the morning, both those organizations have chosen to close down for tomorrow.
Onslow County has also issued a state of emergency curfew for all unincorporated areas. That runs from 6 p.m. until 7 a.m. tomorrow. Or from City Hall to the gates of historic Tryon Palace, New Bern remains blanketed as well. The winter weather dropped just over 2 inches on the city. All public schools and many businesses in Craven County are closed for the day. Heavy equipment was having a hard time removing the snow from all the roadways there. Craven County Emergency Services Director says ice and snow are to blame for 5 car crashes last night, sending them off the roads and into ditches. And it is still slippery out there, so be careful.
I was coming down my steps at the apartment I was staying at, and I missed a step and slid right onto the sidewalk. So that wasn't very fun this morning. So there's a lot of ice out here.
All public transportation in the county was canceled for the day, and so were some flights at local airports. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll show you how some folks are enjoying the winter weather despite all those disruptions. While eastern North Carolina may have caught the brunt of the storm, the central and western part of the state received some snow as well. In Charlotte last night, an SUV lost control and slid in front of one of the light rail trains. It blocked traffic for a while, held up the light rail. Conditions in Hickory are slick as well. This man may have lived up north, but that doesn't make him invincible, now does it?
I was just coming across the bridge, and all of a sudden the truck went squirrely, and I ended up down over the bank. I was raised in Pennsylvania, so I've drove on bad roads, but it just took me by surprise, and next thing I knew I was down here in the dirt.
Just another example. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you drive. As I've said before, icy conditions affect everybody. But the worst of the worst has to be in Atlanta. More than 24 hours after the storm started, thousands still stuck on interstates around the city. That's right. Rescue crews brought out food, water, and gasoline to the stranded drivers still stuck on the highways, and the National Guard was called in to escort hundreds of kids who ended up spending the night in their schools back home. Now, the mayor in Atlanta admits mistakes were made preparing for this rare winter southern storm.
We made a mistake by not staggering when people should leave. So I'll take responsibility for that.
Georgia was one of the 6 southern states that declared a state of emergency. More than 1,600 flights were canceled today, many of them in the south. Now, anyone who's ever been a reporter covering severe weather, I'll tell you, it can be a pretty brutal gig. But when one of the nation's finest meteorologists comes across an obstacle, it barely phases him. And it's trending online today. More on that in a bit. But first, just because you're in college doesn't mean you're not a kid. We're going to catch up with some pirates on the mall for a snowball fight.
Yes, indeed. Kids at heart all across eastern North Carolina. I know all the kids had fun in the east. We're talking about, though, brutally cold weather tonight. We'll need to take care and think about as we look at photojournalist Kevin O'Brien carefully driving down in Winterville, in that appropriate Winterville at 25 degrees.